Right, okay, let's go to the last one. It's my point. It's going to be a bit of an open one, but I'm going to go with this. It's the speed that ESIC is working through these investigations and coming to their conclusions. Right? I know people are going to say, if we take the consideration of a sport, if they were investigating foul play, in match fixing, if we took the criminal element of like actually how the police would deal, yes, of course, those investigations could take years. They could take a long, long time to compile. You could have to go through a whole process if it's the courts, etc. The problem is this: they don't have any of that mouse stick. They're not actually getting people and sending them to prison. They're actually essentially they are the police and the judge and the jury, right? So there actually is no reason, as long as they have enough people and competent people, that they couldn't get these through much, much faster. And the reason I bring this up is because of this. One, I already noticed the effect on the community is like you make a case like this guy might have done this. He then has to sit for like 6 months while every fucking kid just assumes he did it. That means if anyone's ever found innocent, by the way, their career could irrevocably have been like damaged at that point in time, because in people's brain, like they might not even remember that he was innocent at the end. Like there's been cases like that in the UK, by the way, famously from newspapers that got sued, where, you know, they might have said like a guy was like fucking messing with kids or something, and then it found out like 2 years later like that was just made up. It's like he had to go through 2 years of everyone saying that, like, and spreading that far and wide. So my problem is this, right, is when they do this approach, I feel as though in Counter-Strike specifically, it moves at a different pace than linear time elsewhere in sports and business. Like 3 months in Counter-Strike, dude, that can be an entire roster change. That can be your entire peak. So the problem is this: if we can't get these investigations done quickly, we're also going to end up in scenarios in the future, which are going to be a nightmare, where people who do get found as being cheaters and people who've corruptly done stuff will just get 6 months more to do it, potentially. Like they can do a lot of damage on the way out the door if they suspect they're going to be caught. But like basically, I know it's tough to do, but I almost feel like this is why something has to change about ESIC. Like the current way it's going at the moment, it's better than nothing, I'll give you that. But I think it's very flawed, the current approach. Like I don't have a sort of sense in myself for like, when will these things be resolved? Will they always be resolved? I'm a bit lost myself on it, so I don't get a good vibe from it in that regard.
They even released this like registrar thing that, you know, is supposed to keep people updated on.
It's almost like a ticket system, right? Where it's like, here's the open case or whatever.
Yeah, I brought it up, I think, last time on the show, and they haven't updated it since I talked. Like, what is the point? What is the point with this? Like, I get they're undermanned or understaffed or underfunded,
yeah, of course.
Whatever it is. Like, but yeah, it's just like the time frame with which they do things just changes people's lives way too drastically, and I can't get behind the lack. I think there was one incident where I think the ESIC, maybe it was the commissioner or something, said something like, he clapped back at somebody on Twitter because they said like, oh, why is he just coming up with things on the fly like that? And he said, that's my job. Like things are judged on the fly, like without express written rules all the time, or explicit express. And I was kind of like, okay, that is like what I want actually more of. Hand out a punishment that you see as fit based off of the evidence you have. If things come up later, then you could retract it or you could change it, but just like hand something like, you know, solve a case if you could solve a case every time within 2 weeks, I think everybody would just be so much happier.
Yes, absolutely.
Because like oh my God, the NA match fixing is still being talked about.
It's still going.
It's so unbelievable. Like people, like, in the other direction, like I bet people have created careers in Valorant and fan bases that'll last forever, and they might have been cheating. Like they might have been match fixing.
Could be.
And like it's just like where like you need to eventually just pull the trigger on the information you have, because in one respect, like you said, some people are torn down unnecessarily, and some people, you know, they just kind of reap the rewards of all the shitty stuff they did, and they're gonna just like continue to do that, because in the internet, if you build a big enough fan base, like people will just like, they'll forgive you no matter what. Your stand culture is gonna always like work for you.
I'd say that's the big one, man. The NA match fix. The point you just made, Maui, is like that's the problem I have with the pacing of ESIC. In my brain, the analogy is like, you know, ESIC's holding the loaded gun. They've got these 30 NA players held hostage right in front of them, and now for the last 6 months, those guys have just been like slowly backing up into the woods of Valorant. And now they're gone. Like you're like, what is catching them if this ever finally comes up? Like, what is it going to achieve? Is it going to stop them from being, you know, maybe I don't know the names, but like maybe if people are like on big enough organizations where the orgs don't want to let that kind of thing fly, then like the orgs will hold them accountable. But if you're just going to try to use like, you know, the judge and jury of the public, I think you're not going to get results now, at least for the NA match fixing case.
Fuck, I've actually realised I could have done a way better point for either my bad or my ugly. I should have actually gone with this, so I'll just give you it as a bonus now. Here's what I should have gone with, because this is the first reaction I had to this recent Hunden case, and I'm amazed everyone else didn't see this. Like, they were all focused on the fact that he did a bad thing and he lied. The big thing that really startled me about this, look, I'm already someone who doesn't really believe in fucking teams like Astralis as like a legit org. I already think they've done loads of shit. Even I didn't expect this, that both of these orgs, Heroic and Astralis, no joke, it's almost literally like they said this, but this is just the gist of what they essentially said. They were like, oh, you cheated against someone else, right? Don't do it again, but you know what? Fuck it, you can stay. You cheated against me! How fucking dare you? This is a disgrace. Like, what is that? Like, so essentially you as orgs have no actual integrity yourselves. So if you're Astralis, you're like, how dare you players? I want to see you in my office on Monday morning to give you all new contracts to play for Astralis. What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. How can you want to hire a guy you've just cried online about cheating against you? Essentially, by the way, I know you haven't thought this through. That almost implies you want him to cheat for you, you dumb fuck. Like, you haven't thought that one through at all. So the idea that both those orgs managed to just bungle that PR so hard that it both made them look like neither of them give a fuck about integrity or cheating, like, that's so stupid. I still don't know why that had even to be involved, because it didn't, like, all you had to do was do a nice PR statement. Yeah, sorry about that, we were doing the wrong thing, but these fucking orgs, I don't know, man.
I feel like if this whole most recent episode with Hunden and now like kind of, you know, shooting his reputation even more so in the foot by wanting to bring people down with him. If this hadn't happened, dude, I would have bet money that Astralis still signed him.
I thought they would have, yes.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, it happened over there. It's not going to happen over here.
There's even a world, dude, I'm not joking. Like, I think he's fucked it now. There's also a world where teams might have even been Astralis, also might have hired him and just not put him on the books, you know, had him like secretly behind the scenes.
Like what Heroic did while he was banned. Just exactly. Like, oh, he's in the other room, so he's not a coach, but yeah, 100%, man.
Also, the whole fucking Hunden thing, it's like, at this point in time, you just wait until, like, Hunden's like, and here's a secret that a girl told me when she was 4 and said, don't tell anyone. Like, fuck it, mate, if you just got nothing left, no standards whatsoever, like, just keep going, innit? I know. I
saw a TV2 article today come out of, I mean, to kind of, if it's bonus points, man, that implicated Tesses, actually. Hunden expected that, you know, when he said that some of the players knew about it, that they would come forward, and he said that now that they haven't come forward on their own, he's just getting sick of having to take the blame himself. And he has provided TV2 evidence of a conversation with Nico, Danish Nico, right? That makes it seem like Nico is admitting that all the players were aware. And additionally, he showed a server log that, you know how like the coaching bug functioned where like a player had to be in a position and the coach would take that spot. Well, Tesses joined the server before the game with Hunden and then left. And that therefore left the camera position in that spot. Right. So how would Hunden have gotten there without Tesses? Why would Tesses have been in had it not occurred like that? I haven't seen this translated in English anywhere, and it feels like Pimp is done being a journalist. But this one came out today on the 3rd, so that's messed up. You know, and again, like, so what's the move here? You know, Heroic are in the playoffs of Pro League. Like, if the conversation's around like ESIC and taking action and like, you know, we kind of need a decision because playoffs are coming up. Like, are these players going to be penalized? Is the event going to play out before they're penalized? Will it be held off until, like, you know, does ESIC make this conscious decision to kind of let the event go and then step in?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of power and like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be ESIC. I have to admit that much. I really wouldn't want to have to be in that position.
That was wrap it there. Do you have a final point, Maui?
Oh, well, just basically, I kind of just wish like ESL and Astralis in general, or I don't know, whoever, just read a little bit of Kant or something at some point in your life, you know, just like understand the means to the end for all the things you guys are doing, for like, just consider it. Just consider like the means through which you guys go through everything you do. That's all.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.